Good morning, everybody, and welcome to What's Hot on the Open here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock, here to cover everything that is going on in the opening action here on the U.S. markets. Jumping right in, we're taking a look at the Dow Jones. Now, one thing that I'm going to note is today we're probably going to see somewhat of a tight range, especially this morning. Because of the fact that we're waiting to see if the House is actually going to vote on the healthcare reform bill. With that being said, I think the overall tone of the market is still bullish, but you can see that we're in this challenge area. I point these out every day only because I want to give you some context. There's a lot of emotion in these markets, especially what has happened in Europe and London. That has forever changed not only London again, but also Europe, and it has picked up that whole nationalist, protectionist type mentality that developed over the course of the last 3 months since the election here in the United States. So right now you have a battleground, and this battleground is between the 50 and 20-day moving averages here on the Dow Jones. Right now, it's trading right in the middle of it. So we're going to watch either a challenge of 20,457 or 20,779. So basically 20,400, 20,800. That range right there, 400 points in the Dow, seems like a lot, but this thing could move on a dime. We've seen it move this week 1%. So it has the potential either up or down. Taking a look at the S&P 500, again, tight range. This is going to be expected. Down a point at 2347.50. It is again in the middle or lower end of this the range of between the 20 and 50 day. The bulls right now are in their battleground. They got to hold this 50-day moving average, otherwise you could see a midterm shift in trend as well as sentiment. The Nasdaq was leading all day yesterday. It didn't even move to the downside a bit, while the rest of the market had to grind up to the higher. Nasdaq held up very well, large cap tech. Today down 4 points on the Nasdaq at 53.63. It's now sitting right on its 20-day moving average. It finished above, challenged, but finished above. Watch 53.57 on the Nasdaq. That would put the short-term bulls on notice, and there could be maybe a little bit of a washout on those short-term traders. The Russell 2000 continues to underperform. Below its 20 and 50-day moving average, you clearly see that right now there is some anxiety about whether or not this healthcare reform bill is going to get passed. If it doesn't, that has ramifications on tax reform, that has ramifications on trade policies, so on and so forth. So the bottom line is that this healthcare vote, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, is going to influence the markets. Now, with that being said, taking a look at the actual data, we saw that the initial claims came in a little bit higher than expected. Came in at 258,000. Expectation was right around 239, 240,000. So not off the charts, out of the realm of what was expected, but still higher initial claims. What we did see, though, is that continuing claims dropped off to about 2 million. That's a drop of about 39,000. So you basically have inline or relatively positive data. As far as claims are concerned, it's still well under the 300,000 level. As a matter of fact, this is the 107th week that we've seen that initial claims have been under 300,000. So again, showing that people are working, people are earning. May not be making as much as they were. We haven't seen that wage inflation that would mark up against where we're starting to see inflation as far as in the commodities and so forth. But again, we'll take this all with somewhat of a grain of salt. Watch new home sales. New home sales are going to be out this morning. We had pre-existing home sales yesterday. That moved the, XHB. That actually had XXB sitting right on its 20-day moving average. Right now it's trading up 7 cents at 36.78. Watch when that number comes out. It should be out at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Let's see if that moves the markets either to the upside or the downside. That's going to give us also a better indication of what the economy is looking like, and that'll also potentially influence the Russell 2000. Yellen spoke this morning. Nothing notable that she discussed. She did not touch on any economic policies or anything of that nature, so that wasn't a market-moving event. Taking a look at the volatility index, the VIX right now is right at that precipice where I was wanting to see if it was going to actually challenge 13. It's up 10 cents today, 0.3% at 1290. This is going to be an area that I'm going to watch between 1350 to 13. An area here where if volatility gets over that 1350, 1360 range, that means that there is a potential shift in sentiment, both on the short term and potentially on the midterm in this healthcare reform bill. That could be an indication, but we've seen that it's come off its lows. It was trading at 10 and some change a couple of days ago. Now it's trading at 1290, almost 13. Not astronomical levels. I mean, it's still very inexpensive, but you're starting to see that volatility is moving in the front month. The dollar firming up, but still trading right off of its lowest levels. You see crude oil. Crude oil continues to be challenged, down to 83 cents you're seeing on the April contract. And as a matter of fact, let's actually take a look at the May contract. I want to see where that is trading. Or June, excuse me, down 35 cents at 48.34. You're going to start to see that the crude markets, the futures are going to get challenged. Right now, a break in crude below this $47 mark means that you could start to see the potential of getting to the next support level, which is right around this $46, $45 level right in here. Crude's been under pressure. And again, after the bearish inventory reports that were out over from the API as well as the EIA, there's builds in oil. Even though we did have gasolines, there was actually a bigger draw than expected. Bottom line is we still have a glut of oil, both West Texas, and we're still seeing that the Brent contract is under pressure as well. We'll watch the OPEC nations and see if they come out with anything different. Bonds, they rebounded after looking weak pre-market. The 2-year, the 10-year, and the 30-year are all up in price. That means yields are down. Watch the financials today. They've been under pressure with this pop in yield or in price in the bonds. And this is a global situation too. We're starting to see that global bonds are moving to the upside in price as well. When bond prices go up, yields go down. That's not good for financial institutions. Let's see if that actually continues to transpire. We're seeing that the XLF, which tracks the financials, is actually holding up quite nicely, up a nickel at 23.57. But again, broke its 20 and its 50-day moving averages. So right now, the short and midterm bears have taken some control. Let's see if that this market moves and finance moves going into whatever's going to happen with this healthcare reform bill. All right, folks, that is it right now for what's hot on the open. We'll be back at 1:30 Eastern Time. I'm going to be talking about some cool strategies on how to generate income in this environment. We'll see you soon.